Hello. This is a tarot reading for the month of February for my Aquarian friends. Welcome back if you're returning from next time. If you're new, welcome for the first time. And I try to incorporate any sort of feedback you guys leave me, so please do that. And I'll try to tailor these readings a little bit more to your needs. Okay, getting straight into the reading for Aquarius today. Your current situation is the Star. So there's the feeling here that you're being guided by your intuition. You're in a place. Also, let me say what's influencing you is the Strength card. So together, you have this feeling of perhaps accomplishment, but maybe not material accomplishment so much as spiritual accomplishment or progression, or you've made some sort of a breakthrough. Perhaps you've sort of hit rock bottom, and in that rock bottom, in that broken, humiliated place, you've found something. You found something that you hadn't noticed before, and it's sort of a ray of hope. It's leading you on a new form of journey, because what we have in your future here is the Ten of Swords, which you can see the figure is sort of sad and sort of listlessly staring off into the into space, and looks very defeated. In the original artwork, there's sort of a sunrise in the background, and it's sort of over her head there. But it's meant to denote that there's like light at the end of the tunnel, that even though this process has been destructive, when you're at rock bottom, you can only go up from there. And a lot of times when you're at rock bottom, it sort of realigns you in a way. You know what your baseline is, so you're able to move forward more effectively. So moving forward, there's definitely a reason to be optimistic about your future. What we have in your past was the Devil card. Now, the Devil it's not really scary or anything like that. The Devil simply refers to the illusion that you're a victim, the illusion that you're at the mercy of external circumstances, that you are sort of the result of causation. Things are outside of your control. It's not your will, that's all an illusion. And so that's in the past for you. So I think that maybe this is sort of the realization that you've come to, why your current situation is the Star, where you're sort of now in a place where you're following your intuition, following your spirit guides, your guardian angels, God, whoever that is. You're open to it. You're experiencing it in a real way, and that may be something that's pretty new for you. And it's come as the result of you sort of seeing through the Devil for what he really is, seeing the illusion for what it is. In your foundation is the Three of Swords, which indicates some sort of a heartbreak or feeling of betrayal, being alone, not pleasant necessarily emotions, very somber, very hurt, you can see the figure staring off into the flames, very just sort of numb after a while. It stings at first, but then it sort of goes into a numbness for a little while. In your thoughts, you're feeling very isolated and alone. Maybe there's poverty in this. You may be worried about your finances or something. But this is it's telling me that this is really a matter of your own personal perspective more than it is the circumstances. So again, we just got out of this Devil guy, but we got to be careful to block him out, because he tries to get back in even harder after you kick him out, and what this card really indicates is that the circumstances are sort of your own doing, or not just necessarily your own doing, but they're they're prodding you, the circumstances are prodding you in a particular direction, and it's up to you to sort of recognize and see which way you're supposed to go. And if you sort of fall into despair, you lose the ability to see the full context of the situation, and you don't pick up on those cues, and so it's very difficult for you to follow your intuition. But the idea here is that, for example, if you're feeling isolated or abandoned right now, it's very likely because you were too possessive in the situation, or at least that was a root cause of the current situation, is that possessiveness was there. If you're going through a financial hardship right now, it was greed. It was greed that got you there. Too much greed, and you ended up, basically losing it all. That's the idea of whatever the dynamic of the situation is, be it financial or emotional or, a relationship. It's the idea that you wanted something so badly that you gripped it too tightly. You know what I mean? And also the fact that your situation is not as dire as you believe it is. There are people all around you who are willing to help if you would ask them. And I know it takes, a lot of courage and humility to ask for help. I've been there myself, but you have to do it sometimes. We all have to have help, and some of us have those support structures built into where we never even have to ask. It just comes second nature. And then others of us don't have those systems, so we have to, ask our friends and have different types of networks that fill those gaps for us. But you should never feel ashamed for that. If you need help, ask somebody, always. Your advice for the current situation is the Eight of Cups, which suggests that you need to sort of take some time to focus on your spiritual development and growth. So if I know where you are, if I've been there myself, and it kind of looks like I have, you very initially in this sort of breakthrough, you get this feeling like you see everything so clearly. And just the leaps and bounds that you made from where you were before make it seem like you're just going to totally trust your intuition from this point on, and you're not going to listen to anyone else. You for a second there, you think you're invincible and you know everything, but you have to gradually learn that just because you've sort of sorted something out in your life that makes everything a lot more clear, it doesn't mean that it's perfect yet. You see, it can always get better, So just because you've made a breakthrough that's really cleared a lot of things up, don't get too much of a big head, too invincible, and feel like you don't have to grow anymore. You still have to continuously work to making things clearer, to expanding your mind and that kind of thing. If that's the road that you choose to go down, it's not something that you reach an end point to. That's not to say that you could get to a certain point in your spiritual progression and then find that you're completely satisfied there, and that'd be pretty interesting, it'd be pretty cool. But the nature of it, it's a game like any other game, and when a person sort of devotes themselves to one of these life games, it becomes difficult for them to jump tracks really fast. So you want to be careful with that. Your current environment is the Death card, which essentially means rebirth. So around you the circumstances are sort of falling apart, whatever they were, financial, emotional, whatever. They're falling apart a little bit, but out of that is going to be a new direction or a new angle or a new emotion or a new feeling. And that new feeling is going to be basically the seed for a whole new set of possibilities, a whole new a way to move forward, a way to look at the situation. Something new is coming out of it. So it's good to have death in the environment. It really is, because it it suggests that everything around you is sort of changing, and that's cool, because it's fun to just sort of sit back and watch the world move around you every now and then, but the world has to have some sort of momentum compared to you, or maybe you have momentum compared to the world. But regardless, I guess both are technically true. Okay, we're not getting into physics right now, but anyway, you have some sort of momentum built up, and that momentum is enough to carry you around for a little while. So it's a good opportunity for you to sit back like this and watch, and just sort of enjoy the ride and learn lessons. Focus on the lessons, what they are for you to learn. What we have in your fears is the sun. Now, in your fears, this normally means like success, like illumination, clarity, those types of things. But in your fears, I feel what it means is that you feel afraid of being a failure. You know what I mean? Like, you have this idea of success, and very likely this idea of success is an imposed paradigm, something from your parents or from maybe a significant other or something. But you have this imposed paradigm of success, or some metric that's not not necessarily your own. It's something that's being pressured on you. Like, you need to do this, you need to complete this goal, this task, that type of thing. And for some reason, you really do fear letting these people down, not living up to this, not having this sort of success. You also feel afraid that you're going to be fooled, that this is not going to turn out the way that you believe, or you thought it was, that you're going to be fooled by somebody's interpretation of reality or the facts. And as far as that's concerned, none of us knows any better than any other, so, like, just pick a version of the facts, pick a version of reality, facts is a loose term when you're talking about a person's subjective consciousness interpretation of reality, but just pick one that works for you. That's all you got to do. Don't be afraid of picking the wrong one, because that's how you just don't enjoy any of it. If you just go with it, whatever it is you've picked, whatever, stick by it, defend it. If it's a mistake, don't do it again. It's quite simple. You move through life brilliantly that way. Your overall message is the Four of Cups, which it very much relates to the Five of Coins, which was in your crowning thoughts, or your conscious mind, and the Ten of Swords in your future here. And it's very somber, melancholy sort of feeling. It's all about perspective, though. Notice the figure is sort of looking down at the water, and there's like a little reflection of a heart there. It's almost as if she craves a particular type of love, one specific form of love, or perhaps the way that a parent loved you or something is what you're looking for in your partner or something. But look above the head there. There are four floating cups, which represent love, emotion, really abundantly all over, if you'd only recognize them, But there's a box there around the head, which is almost guarding it from this type of love that's coming showering down on you. So it's really about change your perspective a little bit, and recognize that there's love coming at you all from around everything that supports you, everything that keeps you alive, the sun coming down on you. Look, people say it's killing you, right? It's trying to kill you. Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, if you look at it that way, but you can also just as well look at it as it provides the fuel that has kept every living thing alive on this planet for 4.5 billion years. So it's also sustaining you, so there's really it's like the glass is half full versus the glass is half empty, except that I would almost make the argument that you can't say it's destroying you so much as it is keeping you alive, because as far as we know, throughout human history, we've only been alive because of the circumstances that the environment has provided for us. It's not anything our own doing or anything like that. So, love is coming at you from your environment, from all around you, supporting you, keeping you alive, from your parents. They may not know how to show that they love you very well, but it's really all about a perspective. And there are also people around you who want to love you, but they can't always love you in the exact way that you want to be loved, that you're asking to be loved. So don't necessarily reject that love just because you don't necessarily see it in the same format as you demand it. I'm not saying to settle either. You'll know if something is right. But the thing about it is if you can get into a relationship without making too many commitments and start to learn that it's okay for it to fail, like you don't have to have the perfect relationship every time or whatever, and that really it's just about getting back on the saddle and trying, and seeking it a little bit, but if you can learn that, you'll be fine. It looks like you've got an interesting life right now. It looks like things are flowing very intuitively from the subconscious and everything. So this is going to be a dramatic and very enriching time in your life. You're going to look back on this as very fond memories. This is what's going to make you smile when you're sitting there alone. Looking at a sunset, but anyway, until next time, that's your reading, Aquarius. Thank you, and please leave any comments and anything you'd like to talk about. Okay, bye-bye.